Oh, hello. I'm Diana Konecki. I'd like to talk about some benefits that I had with different services I've used. In developing my websites, I've used different services as FatCow, One-on-One, Webs.com, and for my business and personal, I've used Legal Shield. Um, the nice thing about all those services is they give great support and great help. It's important that when you do outsource certain operations, that you do have a reliable source to do your web services as well as your legal for your business. With Legal Shield, for example, they've helped me quite a bit in many issues, even due to being LGBT, because in some communities there's still hostility, and some people still will try to play different games as to if someone doesn't know what the legal rules are. Legal Shield has helped me in resolving those issues, and also helping know what the rules are so someone can't intimidate me or intimidate others. As far as web services, Webs.com, FatCow, One-on-One are wonderful. Webs.com provides ad-free service to start, which can help you build your website. Also, they make it very easy to build a website. I'm a professional web developer, but I still love the tools, as well as with FatCow. FatCow provides you basically your own domain site as well as Webs.com. And FatCow does provide servers, which you can do and use to set up different applications in a web store as well as software as a service. With One-on-One, they're excellent. I've used them and plan to use them for my website. What happens with all three basically provide wonderful service, and they're basically they're easy to use, they're cost effective, and depending on your budget, it's important to figure out which one is which. But when setting up a website or a web service, go for sustainability, because what happens, it's important to realize that you need to have so much sustainability for customers to come to your website, for people to recognize you. Normally, if you can, pay for your website 2 years in advance, pay for your domain name 2 years in advance, because there have been cases where domain names have been hijacked. And when they get hijacked, sometimes you may think you can get your domain name back, and someone may charge you $2,500, $3,500 to get your domain name back. So another point which was mentioned when I had account One-on-One is also have blanket .net.com, .biz, .us for your company name, because that way someone can't try to hijack it that way through using different labels. However, in all business, it is important that you have a good legal service, because no matter what you do, you may run into issues. And like for example, when you sell things, it's good to have a good channel partner. For example, Digital River, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Etsy. Those are all that I use and recommend, because you need to have something that basically to be able to sell, and also help with chargebacks, because chargebacks are expensive. You may not, this may be a new term to some, but chargeback is, let's say someone orders something from your online store. Well, okay, they like the product for a while, then something, they don't like it, and it's within their return period, so they return it. Okay, well that's fine. And that's how you should run your business. You should allow for returns and allowances, as any good business person should do. However, if you don't have a proper method on how to handle chargebacks, you could see an unexpected draft from your bank account, because basically you didn't realize that basically you didn't budget for the chargeback. So what many channel retailers do is, that's part of the reason why they pay net 30 days or net 60 days, because that gives the person enough time to evaluate the product, and also if they do want to return it, it makes it that basically it's past return period, so there's no chargebacks. And that's the same with many people who work in insurance, like I do with Legal Shield, or other companies do paid as earned, because that way what happens, they don't get chargebacks if someone cancels a policy. It's important to understand, though, that when doing a small business, so you need to realize, or even a medium business, you need to understand basically e-commerce and also legal. And sometimes it's better to outsource it through Legal Shield, which I'm glad I did. I wish I would have done it sooner, even when I had my apartment business, and it's important because what happens, they make everything easy for you, and since I had them, it's been wonderful. I haven't had to go through any games or anything else I went through before. And also, it could be hard coming up with a retainer right away for an attorney. It's nice to be able to just pick up the phone, talk with someone, and have them return you a call the same day. And a lot of times you can resolve it over the phone. They can resolve it by a letter, and you don't even. And a lot of times it's, since their attorneys are in the top 10% of the field, you don't have to worry about going to court, because basically they have the reputation of winning. And they do and stuff like that. So, but the other thing about outsourcing, though, is with the web service in your distribution channels, you need to realize that with the website, there's a lot of things to do to maintain it. And the thing is, what happens if you even if you are a professional web designer, and that in your it is good to outsource certain things as IT backup, because what happens, a lot of IT backups are done basically on third shift, or basically the midnight hours like that. So, and when you're trying to run a business and then do a backup the next day, maybe you can do it, maybe you can, but the thing is, it's nice to have a regular habit where someone will do it, and And the same thing with the channel provider. Channel provider will answer customer inquiries, will take care of chargebacks, and also will maintain customer satisfaction, and it makes it easy. I use Digital River, My Commerce, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Lulu, Etsy, to name a few, and all of it makes it easy that basically I can set up a store, set up my products. I can upload my own products, and it allows me to have a flexible schedule, and also allows me to work on things that my core competencies that I'm best at, and also have other things that where it's outsourced, where basically the outsourced group is best at, and it's affordable price, maintains confidentiality, and also keeps basically business integrity. Finally, in anything you do, you need to make sure that you have some form of ID theft. I mean, there's different programs out. I mean, I recommend Legal Shield because I am a member, and they have helped me quite a bit with ID issues that have happened in the past. The biggest problem many LGBT people run into, and especially transgender people run into, depending on neighborhood you're living or where you're living, some people will try to take out credit in your old name. And what happens, that can be a big mess, because when you go to apply for a mortgage or renew your mortgage, someone may say, well, don't you own a house out in California? Well, no, I don't. I mean, I worked out in La Jolla for many years, but I telecommuted, that was a surprise to me one time when I went to renew my mortgage in '99. Luckily, the FBI resolved the issue, but basically, and even with someone trying to take out credit in one's former name when they're transgendered, that can cause things like that too, because somehow people think that, well, since someone changed their gender, basically they're not going to monitor the credit report or something else. And the credit companies still are not up to speed on that. They need to get up to speed on that, because when people do have the gender transition, they need to realize to watch out for identity theft, that people may try to open accounts. And some of it can happen very easily. Someone basically doesn't shred their mail, doesn't do secure mail properties, or basically just throws the mail in the garbage, and big garbage bin says, oh, no one's going to go through a dumpster dive. Yes, they will. And depending on the type of neighborhood you live in, very much so. There's a regular patrol. I mean, I lived in different neighborhoods, mostly upper middle class neighborhoods throughout my life, but I did live in a ghetto neighborhood, and yes, they do dumpster dives. So I did learn how to do very much safe disposal of information. So it's important when you do business or your personal life that you have resources and partners that work with you and are with you 24/7. Also, those that aren't judging. If someone's judging you, why should you work with them? Don't, because it's going to make you feel bad. It's going to make you feel ill. It's going to reduce your lifespan. There's other people you can find to work with, and also other people you can find to recreate with too, as well. So the main thing is be yourself, have fun, and do what you like to do. Follow your bliss, as Joseph Campbell would say. Well, let me know what you think. I'm on Twitter at Diana1A, also on Facebook at Diana.Kaneki, Kanecki, and I'd be glad to hear your comments. Thank you again.